yes, there will be a recording, and I'll be sending that out tomorrow. So, welcome everyone to Constructing the Perfect Blog Piece by Piece, high converting posts from the blog masters. And of course, I'm going to show you a few examples. Each situation here that I'm going to cover will have an example, a visual example of what I'm talking about. And of course, blog masters, we all have our favorite blogs. Some blogs make millions of dollars a year. Some don't make very much money at all. It runs the gamut. There's just millions and millions of blogs, literally. But I think we all have our favorite ones. So, if you have a favorite blog, you can pitch in at the end there at the Q&A and tell me which one you like. Maybe we'll go visit it. But there's a few that I really enjoy, and basically you're going to see examples from those. Not only are they fun and exciting and make money, they're actually doing everything right. So they're great examples to learn from. And basically, I've been running blogs. Tom Antion's blogs I ran for 7 years. I posted 3 times a week on multiple blogs over there. And believe it or not back in the day when we first started doing this, not everybody did it right. So we're going to go over even things that we didn't even do in the beginning. Oh, Vicky's here. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi. We're all hiding. Shh, be quiet. Anyway, she'll be leaving here in just a second. Yeah, so when I worked for Tom out there, we experimented. It was the early days of blogging, and we didn't do all these things right, but things have evolved since then. And I'm going to cover all these different aspects of that. And of course, this is a part of my real content, real training. I am your host, Colin Martin. I'm sure everybody knows me by now. If you don't know, I'm not shame on you, but I think everybody does. I will have a live Q&A at the end of this, so stick around to the end and you can get your questions answered. And of course, I'll stay until all the questions are answered. So, can everybody hear me okay out there? Just want to make sure that I'm coming through loud and clear. Great. I appreciate that, and I do appreciate your time tonight, too. You being on these webinars means a lot to me, and it also means a lot to yourself that you're going to these things, and I'm not just giving you fluff and things that won't matter. These things really make money, and they really do make a difference in your life. And I know that you spending time here means you're serious about your business, and actually I really appreciate that, so thank you. Well, blogging, of course, everyone will tell you that you need to blog. I've been told that a million times. Sometimes I don't want to. Sometimes I don't like it. Sometimes I don't have time for it. Sometimes I don't have anything to write about. So, but I want to keep blogging, and people have been forcing that down my throat. And you've probably heard it a million times from a lot of your friends. You got to have a blog. You got to have a blog. It's great for business. It's a great place to drive traffic. But sometimes it's just can be a real effort, mainly because there's so much time involved in it trying to keep it going. And also there's a creative aspect that can be hard to keep that fuel, that fire going in the creativity. But sometimes, it can just be a real pain. And for months and months at a time on some of my sites, I didn't blog. I just kind of let it go. So I've tried to think of things that I can do to make it easier. If you're not blogging, you really should. And if you are blogging, you need to keep it going, mainly because they're the most popular way to build a readership and a followership to your business. And it's an easy way to build an email list. In fact, I think it's the highest converting content marketing. We talk about content marketing such as articles and this kind of stuff, but the way to build an email list is blogging. Why is that? Well, as opposed to some kinds of article marketing and other content strategies, blog posts come up very high in search engines because the search engines like Google love them. Why do they love blogs so much? It's always fresh and new content. So when someone's writing a blog every, a couple times a week, search engines know that it doesn't get any fresher than that or more relevant to your target market. So they want to deliver to their customer, who is the searcher, relevant and fresh material, nothing that's from 2008 and kind of stuff. That's really not going to do the searcher any good in terms of updated material. So Google likes blogging, and they'll actually take an individual post and it can come up high in search engines, and a post acts as its own web page. So you really want to pay attention to blogging. And if you're not getting any traction with your blog, you'll probably have one of the big problems, one of the 10 big problems I'm going to outline tonight. And if you see one of these, then you'll know to fix it. Of course, all my clients for the last couple of years have asked me to critique their blog or even write their blogs for them, which I do. And no one client had all of these elements in place, and they were surprised. Some of them only had one or two of these in place, and were missing eight big problems. And don't expect good results if you're leaving certain techniques on the table. So this will be the perfect opportunity, and of course you'll be able to download the slides tomorrow of this to follow this as a template, as a guideline, as you're writing your next post. And I've all of a sudden just created in my own blogging, I really wanted to step it up, and I've implemented each one of these items in my blog and for the clients that I'm working with right now. But check this statistic out, 347 new posts being written and over 30,000 people sharing those posts with their thousands of friends every single minute. It's the most powerful form of content marketing, and it is completely free. Well, just because it's free doesn't mean it's effective. And as a matter of fact, if it is free, that is such an opportunity to take it to the nth degree and really do it. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you're blogging and you're not going through all the steps I'm going to show you tonight, you could possibly really be wasting your time. And if you're sitting around waiting for your blog to just magically do something or start getting traffic, it may not do that. And I don't want you wasting your time. There's stuff that we could be doing out there. We could be writing books. We could be speaking. We could be creating products. Blogging takes time. So if you're going to do it, we need to do it right. So I've identified these big problems here, and there's 10 big ones. I'm going to get into them. But the first is we don't blog enough. If you haven't blogged since February 2nd or whatever, you're not going to get as much traction, especially with the search engines or your subscribers or your followers, unless you're putting out regular content. And if you put out content on a regular basis, such as a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and you keep doing that, basically each of those same days, almost within the same hour, if you can, that creates a good search engine magnet. And it also creates predictability with your followers and your subscribers so that they can learn from you, and it's exactly what you're trying to do. Build up a real clientele on the internet, and blogging is the way to do that, as opposed to just web content, which few people ever read these days. Blogging is more interesting. We also don't try to build our community. We don't try to build our list. Blogging, and I'll show you how easy this is the best way to build a list, as opposed to just endless amounts of web content, or even social media, where people aren't really clicking out as much on social media to list building opt-in forms and things like that as they do on a blog, and I'll show you exactly why. Also, we don't link to anything. While someone is engaged in our blog post, it's the perfect opportunity to link to our products, to our other posts, to our social media, anywhere that you want to link to. That person is engaged. In fact, your reader is more engaged in a blog post that you've written more than any other content on your entire website. And that's the perfect opportunity to put clickable links. And those are tiny calls to action that get people to take a step further. Don't have someone come to your blog post, read it, come to the end, and there's nothing to do, and they just simply leave. That was the wasted opportunity and wasted traffic. And sometimes this takes money and a lot of opportunity and a lot of work to get people there in the first place. So you're missing out if you don't link and try to keep the flow going and keep people moving through the system. Also, the formatting is uninteresting and hard to read, and this is probably the biggest problem I see. People don't think about the formatting. They just write in this real small font. It never changes. It's the exact same font from top to bottom, and it gets very hard on the eyes. It's very dynamic and fun. SEO is a real big problem, and many people don't understand the dynamics of search engine optimizing their posts. Obviously, you don't want to write endlessly 3 times a week and put all this heart and soul into it if the search engines can't find it and you're not getting the traffic you deserve. So we're going to show you how to do that tonight also. Here's the big one that really bothers me, is not writing in your own voice. Your blog post is an opportunity for you to talk to your community like a friend, to open up, to address taboo subjects, to expose your feelings, and to build a kindred spirit among your community. It's not really meant to be a brochure or some kind of dissertation on your philosophy. It's a place to really sit down and in short order make a heartfelt emotional connection to your community so that you can really. The dynamic of the internet has changed, and I just want to really quickly tell you that a few years ago it was more automated. People could just put up these long sales letters. You could buy a bunch of Google pay-per-click ads, keywords that drive people to a sales letter. The sales letter was convincing and over the top and had all this NLP, and it just made people whip out their wallets. But you know what? They don't do that anymore. People are becoming numb to automation, and they're becoming desensitized to things that don't speak to them. When people come to a website or a blog, they want to read like they're talking to a friend. They want to be entertained. And that's the kind of thing that builds love. And if you're not building the love in your community, you're going to be missing out on making sales. Money is made from building relationships, respect, and love in your community. And the only way you can do that is to be yourself. Also, we're not having fun with blogs. Most people I talk to dread blogging. Almost every one of my clients hate it. And I've never been a big fan, but when you start to have fun with your blog, and this is the one tipping point about how the big blog masters make their money, is you can just tell they enjoy it. They enjoy the writing, they enjoy the engagement, they enjoy the relationship, and they just love sitting down and popping out a few choice paragraphs about their day or what they've discovered. That's very cool and engaging. It doesn't have to be something that you have to work at, that you absolutely hate. And if you do, that's going to be a problem. So I've got a few ideas about things that you can do other than writing if that's not your forte out there. But don't despair. I'm going to show you the perfect process tonight, and I'm glad everyone's out here. Big packed room tonight. And that's good, because I think blogging is important. Not only do people think they're doing it wrong, people want to do it right, and then they know they think they need it. So I think that's why everybody's here tonight. And the big problem number one, and this is universal practically with everyone that blog posts that I critique, and it's about bad titles. It's not optimizing and writing the titles the right way. Now, I'd love you to write a title that's catchy and cool and in your own voice, but you have to balance that with keywords that the search engines are looking for. And the reason they're looking for them is because blog content sometimes isn't even written. Sometimes it's just a video. Sometimes it's just an infographic. Sometimes it's just resources or links or something that doesn't have a whole lot of content to it. It can just be an MP3, like a podcast. In that regard, there's no keywords in the content or the body of the blog for the search engines to get hold of. So they look at the title of the blog for all the search engine keywords that they need. And it's very important that you optimize the keywords in balance with creating a cute or catchy title. I'm not going to critique everyone's catchy titles because that's your own art form, but you have to get the keyword phrase. And what I like to do is I use a keyword phrase first, your main keyword phrase, and then put a dash or a colon, and then use a secondary phrase that's got some keywords in it, but that it can be catchy as well. For instance, let's take a look at these examples here. The first one, public speaking, colon, killer executive speeches from the podium. Okay, that's got a lot of keywords in it. And the search engines actually read keywords from left to right. So you want to put your main keywords first. So public speaking is my main keyword. And then put something interesting, killer executive speeches from the podium. Okay, now I want to read it because it sounds cool. But executive speeches, that's a secondary keyword phrase. So that's how you balance your SEO, and your titles have to do this all the time. The catchy phrase, if no one's searching for it, will not get any traffic. Here's another one. Home-based businesses. That's my main keyword. And then, of course, the secondary phrase, stay-at-home moms find success. Now, that's kind of exciting. You know, if I'm a stay-at-home mom and this happens to be a blog for those, well, I want to read about the other stay-at-home moms that, like myself, that have found success. So it's kind of catchy. But it's got a secondary keyword, stay-at-home moms. That's the secondary keyword phrase. So I put a main keyword, dash, colon, secondary keyword, and I still made it catchy. Practice with your titles like this from now on, and make sure that you're getting the kind of search engine traffic that you deserve, because without all that new traffic, you're really relying on just people sharing it, which is good, or your social media. Give yourself a break. You really want some new customers, and you really want the search engines to find these pages, and of course they love them. Here's a few examples from their blog masters, yes, but they're also two of my favorite bloggers and ones I like to read the most. And the first one here is from Laura Roeder, the beautiful Laura Roeder. And, of course, the second one's from Jeff Herring. So two of my favorite bloggers, but they followed this advice exactly. So look at the examples here. Laura wrote her post, says Twitter photo tips, the ultimate guide for social marketers in 2014. That's catchy, but it's keyword rich, and it follows the formula just outlined here perfectly. Jeff, content marketing for beginners. 3 don'ts and 3 do's to get massive amounts of click-throughs per article. Perfect. See how they've got, and they use a colon or a dash in both these examples, and these are two of my favorite people. And that's why they get the big bucks and why their blogs are so popular. Big problem number 1 solved. Keyword-rich titles, and you can see how someone other than myself obviously does this the right way, and I've learned from these people, so that's good. I wouldn't give you anything that doesn't work or hasn't been tested or tried. So, big problem number 2. I call it no pain, no gain, and it goes right back to my copywriting theories here that I've been pounding out to everybody for the last 3 years. It's that you really need to reach out and grab in the first paragraph the problem that you know people are searching for, and then offering them the solution is the rest of the blog. I'd like to start my writing out, and of course if you follow a template like this, it's a little easier to start it out because you have something to go by. If you just start out with a bunch of fluff or something, it's going to bore the reader, and they're not really capturing attention. So this is psychological to a certain degree. But you need to identify your reader's pain and offer the solution right at the beginning to capture their attention so they read the rest of the blog. Now, you can follow the same theory with all your website content, but your blog has a high readership, and you really want them to come back again and again. So it's specific that you follow the pain solution formula here. So I wrote something like, here's an example. I hate selling. I know that you probably do too. Sometimes I wish the money would just roll into the bank account without me having to talk to anyone. It almost puts a giant knot in my stomach when I have to call, but I just discovered a technique that makes everything okay. All right, now, if this was a sales blog targeted to salespeople, they would keep reading because I would. And so I opened that, and I'm identifying very quickly why is my reader here and what can I do for them. And in keeping with the visual examples, I do have a post here that I wrote about video marketing, and this is from my blog. And it's just, you can read this more in detail on the slides tomorrow, but it says crafting videos that show off your business and brand is an important part of website conversion, and driving traffic to your website from places like YouTube, but you have run out of ideas. So I'm implanting the idea that it's important, but I'm identifying the pain or problem that they've run out of video script ideas, and then I follow into the rest of the blog post. Don't worry, ideas for video scripts are endless. So you really want to identify that. You do that in all your copy anyway, especially in email and everywhere else, but your blogs are probably the most important part of content marketing, where you're identifying the pain and offering the solution to your readers. And of course, that will keep them not only coming back to your blog each and every week, but sharing it with their friends they know or having the same issues. And that's very important here. So let's move along. Problem number 3, not writing in your own voice. You want to personalize your writing style and make it your own. practice that a little bit. It's not as hard as it seems. And of course, you want to write as if you're talking to a friend. People love that personal interaction as if they're being spoken to directly. I want my reader to say, hey, he understands what I'm thinking, and he's writing for me. The best writers, the best songwriters, and the best bloggers all do that. And it's fairly simple to do if you just break down the preconceived notions that you have about writing at all and sit down and just write as if you're talking. And you'll be surprised at how easy writing in your voice is. But I have noticed that people that do write in their own voice are the ones that are most successful bloggers, that have the biggest traffic, the most comments, and make the most money, because people just love the style. And you want to keep that style consistent. Once you discover that writing in your own voice, don't be scared to write in your own voice. Don't be scared to let your hair down and approach people on a real level. It doesn't matter what you're selling. It could be some highfalutin executive leadership coaching or something like that. Those people still have feelings. They still have fears. And they still talk to their friends at a bar, not in office speak, but in real people speak. They don't talk to their kids like that. So if you really want to connect with somebody heart to heart, make sure that you are comfortable with your writing style. Just write what matters to you. It doesn't really have to stick to any kind of formula. I don't need a blog all the time. So if you have a thought, just put it down there. This little example here at the bottom by Jeff, again, Jeff Herring. He always talks about a lot of high content kind of stuff, but it's always kind of in a very relaxed manner. And sometimes he doesn't talk about anything high content at all. Sometimes he just talks about something personal that matters to him. That kind of stuff makes a connection. You can see here he's talking about, he was listening to an interview with Amy Grant and about a prayer and a quote that really meant to him, and how this, made him feel good. This has really nothing to do, with article marketing or all the stuff Jeff talks about, but it's making a connection of just the everyman. And this was the entire post, my friends, okay? It wasn't just a chunk of this. That was the entire post that day. What did Jeff do? Well, maybe he didn't think of anything that interesting in article marketing. Maybe he just wanted to keep the blog going and just threw out something very short. This is also an example that you don't have to keep it very long. You don't want to write very long. You can keep it very short if you want. So in that regard, there's no length, magic length of the blog. It should vary between long and short. It really should just vary depending on your mood and whatever you need to talk about. When you're done talking, you're done talking. Most people tell you a blog should be this, that, and this many characters and this many words. Don't worry about that. If you just have a few sentences, that's fine. I've done it. Some of the most popular posts have been really short. So just speak in your own voice and write from your heart. Problem 4, no images. I see so many blogs where people forget to put some kind of photo in there. And a lot of people don't feel like looking for a photo or trying to find a royalty-free image or subscribing to a royalty-free image service or something like that. But it's extremely important to have images in your blogs. And there's there's a couple reasons why. First off, interesting images. They're fun and they're exciting and they can liven up the blog and it keeps your reader's attention. And they can also act as thumbnails and featured images in snippets, reviews, and in search positioning. If you have a photo on your post, it'll come up in Google image searches, and it's another way to get more traffic. Also, a proper image can be a psychological way to drive the point home, other than just your words alone. Again, images will come up in Google searches because they're a great place to hide keywords. Now, I've been through this before with a website critique where we hide images or we hide keywords in images, and those are picked up by Google. Again, a blog post may or may not have enough content to grab the search engine's attention here and to find them down to keywords. So an added boost of keywords will give you an added boost of search engine results. 2 examples of photos or images on a blog is one that's just fun and exciting. It just creates a lackadaisical or interesting psychological pull to the content, and others specifically have keywords embedded in them. And you can see too here, you can see the little dog with glasses. I'm not sure where I pulled that from, but it's funny, so, people just get lighthearted. Whenever you can create a lighthearted psychological pull in your reader, you don't necessarily have to break down the walls of sales resistance so hard. So sometimes lightening them up brings them down if you're about ready to, link to a product or something. And of course, this bottom one, if you can see it, the file name has keywords in it. Changing advertising messages, that's the keywords. And I just take a photo that I even can get from royalty-free images, and I save the photo on my desktop with keywords in the file name. I rename the photo before I upload it to my WordPress blog. So now there's keywords in the coding of WordPress that the search engines see, but your reader will never see that for the most part. So hiding keywords and images is double duty with putting images on there that are fun and exciting and engaging. So don't forget to put images. I see so many blogs these days that just ramble on and on. There's no images, there's no fun, there's no break in the action, nothing. So images are fairly easy to get a hold of. And of course, remember, use royalty-free images, some kind of image service. Don't be pulling them off of Google Images or someone else's blog, because you can get a lot of trouble for that. Big problem number 5. Bad or boring formatting. Formatting is the key to success in readability. So writing in the same font size, same style, the same color from top to bottom is hard for people to read. And the last thing you want is people painfully reading your blog or their eyes tearing up because the font's too small and they just can't read it. So you want to use a print. Unlike print, small font tires the eyes very quickly, and you want to make sure that all your websites have a decent formatting. But the blog, again, is the most readability or the most read stuff, so you want to make sure it's easy. Break up the copy with lots of white space. Use larger fonts at times, like a newspaper does or a magazine. You'll see that sometimes they'll make a bigger font for a certain sentence that kind of makes the point. You can use different colors. You can use highlights. You can use different kinds of things that stand out to emphasize important phrases. And let me show you an example of, this is off of my blog here. And you can see that I have bolding. I have colors. I have an image. I also have a larger font that's bolded. And I even, down at the bottom, have bullet points. So in terms of formatting from top to bottom that typically are all the same, this is 1, 2, 3, 4 different elements right here in this one screenshot. So I have bolding, makes the point. It's always good at the beginning. Color, make eyes go right to that sentence, especially if it's something important you want to emphasize. Bigger font breaks up the boredom here and makes it easier to digest. People digest web content in chunks, so you have to write in chunks. Don't write a blog post like you're writing a book. Even here, you can see there's a lot of white space in here, which makes it far easier to read than if this was all crammed together. And, I may be going over some very obvious points here, but they're not that obvious if I keep coming across blogs all the time and people go, can you critique it? And it's always the same problems. And these are little things. We're just not paying attention. There's no right or wrong really about this as much as it is we just forget to keep a checklist of how to make it look interesting. You want your blog to be user and reader friendly. So important. Right here, I see white space, clickable links, and a big sentence that's in bold and larger that makes it stand out. So people can actually skim this and still get a lot of the ideas about the post and what it means before they sit down and digest the whole thing from top to bottom. And of course, this is really internet kind of stuff. Obviously, you don't have to pay that much attention to print and books and things, and that's where the confusion comes in, is that we read a lot of paper and print material, and our eyes are okay with it, and as soon as we put it on a computer monitor, something bugs out, and all this formatting has been tested for higher conversions and readability. Big problem number 6. Big problem, no clickable links. Clickable links take the reader further to your site. Your blog post is not the end-all place for them to read. It's just the beginning of the funnel, so to speak. So when someone finds a blog in a search engine result or otherwise, and they come to your blog and they read it, and if they're not prompted to follow a link or move further into the site or go somewhere else, like a call to action, then you've pretty much wasted that reader and that traffic. Because trust me, they'll read the whole thing and they'll get down to the bottom, and if there was no clickable link in it, they'd go, great, okay, I'm out of here. How's that helping you? So blogs and posts should be specifically designed to lead to other areas of your site. We call them breadcrumbs. And it's like leading people further and further into the website, into other posts, into other articles, into products, and products into opt-ins, and all sorts of things. My favorite thing is to lead someone to an opt-in because I know it's the easiest conversion I can get. So you also want to use keywords or anchor text, as we call it, as your clickable link, not just click here or read more. Don't ever use those. I'm really going to get on you for that. Keyword phrases that are clickable are, again, more easily found by Google. So now here's SEO point number 3. Clickable links are one way that Google can find it, but not if it's the words click here or more, because those aren't keywords. So I'll show you a keyword phrase, and I sometimes highlight the entire sentence just to really make a point, just so they don't miss it, because it really stands out. Let's take a look at an example right here. This is from, again, Laura Roeder. So that's LKR Social Media, if you want to go see her blog, lkrsocialmedia.com. And I'm going to put the blogs that I've been referencing these examples from in with the recording tomorrow. So if you want to check that out. Jeff does this. All the big people do it. I've been doing it. Now Tom does it, of course, because I've been doing it, and I totally switched over the entire way we blog over at Antion Associates, and it's a lot of fun. You can see here there's clickable links, visual guides, tutorials, business philosophy posts, little things like this that are of interest, and they keep the people flowing through the site. So you can see here there's an example of white space, formatting, and clickable links. So I really I like that, but not only is it interesting and keeps the reader engaged, it's how you get conversion. Think of your post from now on as a conversion tool, not just something you're writing about just for the sake of writing. Make sure each post, when you look at it, write it out, put some stuff in there, format it properly, back and read it again and see if it gets you to want to click on something or be taken somewhere into the site. And if it doesn't, go back and fix it. Big problem number 7. No sign-up form at the bottom. I like to put sign-up forms. There's 3 big ways that you can get people to opt in. First off, when most people come to your blog, it should be a template on your site that has an opt-in in the right-hand sidebar up at the top. And obviously that's very common, and we've talked about that with opt-ins before, having an opt-in form up at the top right-hand sidebar of your WordPress template. And your blog pages should always have that same structure. The problem is that as people read the blog and go down, that opt-in that's on the right-hand side is now out of sight and out of mind. That's why the clickable links to an opt-in are very important. And also putting an opt-in box at the bottom. And there's a plugin called Magic Box. It's the Magic Box. Magic Action Box. Yeah, anyway, I'll put a link to where you can download that in the recording tomorrow. Magic Action Box. And it actually can create very easily an opt-in form that's really cool looking right at the bottom of the post. So as people read and they're engaged, you can put a call to action such as sign in below to get the free chapter of my new book or something like that, or opt in to get more examples or more help just like you just read. Make a little call to action down there, and of course they're seeing it down there. And you don't want to force them to scroll back up to the top to see that opt-in box on the right-hand sidebar. You know why? Because they're not going to do it. If they get down to the bottom, they may just leave at that point. So don't force them to scroll back. And if they do read the entire post, you can assume that those are hotter leads, because no one's going to read your blog post that isn't interested in you and your service and products. That's just all there is to it. Marcy says, is that Magic Box or Magic Action Box? It's Magic Action Box. If I'm mistaken on that, don't worry, I'll put it in the link. But it's really cool. It's totally free, of course. And then it creates, I'll show you what it looks like. So you can put easy opt-in forms at the bottom, and there's a number of free plugins, but so far that's the one I've used, and I know how to use that one. And this is kind of what it looks like. Now, again, this is on Laura Roeder's site. I mean, she's just a master of this, and she makes a lot of money doing it. And I've learned so much from her. It's ridiculous. And so go over there and take a look, all the examples. Now, this little blue box is at the bottom of every single post, and you don't have to put code in there. You don't have to do that for each and every post. It's automated. It's automatic. It shows up all by itself. So as we read her post and we get down to the bottom, then there's this big blue box. She's been talking about giving advice. That's cool. Glad. Then she says, need more actionable advice. Get your free weekly marketing to-do list right here. Boom. Simple email address, sign up, done. Very high converting. It's not asking a whole lot. It's not asking us to bend over backwards. And also, it appears after we've read the post, and we don't have to scroll all the way back up to find whatever opt-in forms may be on the site. She's got them on the top. She's got them at the bottom. She has clickable links in the middle. She's going to get you coming and going, and that's exactly what we want to do. Build our community from the people who are actually reading the post. Do not let them get away. Those people that join your community, that have permission to be a part of your list, will buy from you over and over and over again, which I love. Obviously, you know that. I'm not just sitting here tooting my own horn, but community that really loves you, that reads your stuff like that, damn hot lead. Somebody that you can really make a lot of money from. And as I say, people just don't buy from websites anymore. They don't buy from stores. They don't buy from Facebook. They buy from your email list. They have to get to know you, and they have to fall in love with you before they start spending money. That's the new way of the internet these days. So list building is the most important thing you can do with your posts. Just keep that in mind as you're writing it. Big problem number 8, there's no comments. And sometimes it's hard to get comments, but you want to encourage people to comment, or you may not have a comment box at all installed on your WordPress, and just about every one of them does, and sometimes turn them off by accident or intentionally because we don't want to deal with it or something. But comments is how you build me that place to answer questions that look like the expert, and it's the most popular feature of blogging is leaving a comment, and this is how you build real fans. There's social proof there. If people are leaving comments, then their next reader knows that they're not the first one or the only one to have ever read this post. They're going to go, damn, look at all the people leaving comments. This guy really knows what he's talking about. And it gives them an opportunity to ask you a question. And that question can lead to real money. So your responses can make you the expert, and it can also be informative, almost like a customer service. So, but you need to actually answer back. I know people that they said, Colin, can you critique my blog? I look at the blog and it's really well done. And then I look at the comments. There's people going, hello, you know, I'm asking questions. And then I said, why didn't you answer? Oh, I didn't know someone was commenting. Wow. So you have to have all that in place, and you have to check the comments. You have to be active about it. You can't just blog once every 6 months and then leave these comments hanging. In my opinion, if you're going to do something, anything, or not do all of these, you're wasting your time. And again, I don't want you to waste your time. You should be blogging, but God knows if you don't feel like it, or you're just going to be lazy about it, or you're just not into it, don't do it. There are other ways to make money. There's a number of free plugins. The one I like the best is called Comment Love. I know a lot of you use that and they're very interested in that. But be sure to answer them back. Look at this example that I found again with Laura Roeder over at lkrsocialmedia.com and her blog. Look at the comments that these people left. Now, people are leaving comments and her team member here is actually answering them. But what's fascinating is people are asking real questions. So I can't wait for your webinar. I've only been following you a few months, but I've learned to become the top 2 people, or you're the top 2 people I can't wait to hear more from. That's a testimonial that Laura didn't have to go out and solicit and then put on a special place on her site that no one's going to see. The comments are a great place to get real world people telling you how great you are, and the whole rest of the world can see it. I love it. And then Rebecca here says, what time does the workshop start and end? And then one of Laura's team members gets on here and answers the question about the workshop. So she's using this as customer service. And it's not a private conversation between her team member and Rebecca. The whole world can see this. So now I can go over and go, what workshop is she talking about? And now she's just driven traffic, a conversion, all by herself, just through comments, and people can see that there's activity, and the whole world knows that there's something going on. I like that interaction, and it's also providing advertisement and excitement for first-time readers to see that there's all this activity and that people are answering me back. In the days of the internet here where people don't answer anyone back, now social media has changed a lot of that, but back in the day, you visited a website, there wasn't anything going on. There was no social media, there was no comments. If you bought something, your money was gone. You never even knew if you were ever going to get the product or not. So I mean, it was like a mysterious circumstance. So this is just engagement to the highest degree here, and simply because they just activate the comments and they paid attention to them. That's it. And so many of us aren't doing that or don't even have comments activated. So go back and check, make sure that you have the comments activated in the way you really want them to be. All right, big problem number 9 is there's no prompt to read previous or next posts. And it's called the no next post prompt. And what you want to do is you want to keep your reader, if they're interested in reading a blog and read it down to the bottom, you want them to keep the chain going and reading from post to post to post to post. Try to keep them on there as long as possible. If you can keep a reader on your site longer, that will raise your search positioning. If people just read a snippet or two and gone, or have a high bounce rate, that's going to cost you. So there's ways to do that. And this is a plugin called UpPrev, UPPREV, UpPrev plugin. And what it does is it automatically, as soon as you read down to the bottom, this little pop-up window, this little tiny corner here with the blue arrow pointing at it, is a pop-up that instantly pops up that says, you'll like this post, and it's a link to the next one. And all you got to do is reach your mouse over and click on the little blue tab, and it'll take you to the next post. And then it'll do it again and again and again and again, and it possibly could keep people on there reading 5 or 6 of these posts in a row. So this is, again, on Laura Roeder's site, but a client I'm working with now just installed this, and it works like a charm. And you can make it either to be the previous post, or you can make it do another post, or obviously you can't do or you can do a next post if it's one that's in the middle of a bunch of posts. So you can set it to whatever post you want. You can even put little thumbnails in the picture there, for a little bit extra engagement. But you can't put a picture in that little pop-up if it's not a picture in the post itself that you're linking to. So again, we're going back to images and how images can create a lot of branding and excitement and engagement. So you want to use them and try not to ignore that, because there's other opportunities to feature that tiny little image as a thumbnail in dozens of other ways on your posts and part of your blog process. So you always want to get people to prompt and try to get them to keep reading. And I like that. It's actually just a convenience. Now, a lot of us have these the posts are in the sidebar, and some of us turn those off, and sometimes those work well, or they click on categories, but that's kind of old school. Try these free plugins. They're real easy to operate, and you'll see a higher engagement with people engaging longer. All right, problem number 10, last big problem here, no teasers or post previews. Okay, your blog page of your site should not have all the posts in full, and I have to scroll down and down and down endlessly to read each one. Testing has shown that if you have what are called previews or excerpts or snippets of all your blogs on your main blog page, that people will be able to choose what posts interest them the most and just go ahead and click on the name of it or read more. And if your reader, give your reader a chance to browse the post and just be able to click on the ones that really matter the most to them. And that read more link, sometimes you'll see a snippet and it'll just have like the first paragraph, and then at the bottom it says read more. That has a high click-through rate, as high as 150% higher than just clicking or reading all the posts if they're in full length on your blog. Now, your blog, depending on what theme you have, you can turn on or off previews and install automatically. If yours doesn't have that, it behooves you to find a theme that creates the preview settings. I'll show you an example of what I'm talking about, and I know you've seen it. And again, if the posts are all long and in full and I have to scroll over and over, it's going to keep the reader from reading them. Look at a few examples here. These are great. One, again, is Laura Roeder. And the one on the right is somebody, I can't remember who it is, but I'll put it in the recording so you can take a look at some of these examples. This is what I mean by snippets. Now, if I click on the blog navigation link, this is what I get. I get these chunks. Now, I can see a number of posts that these people have written, and I can choose which one is of most interest, and I really like that. Jeff does it, Jeff Herring. I do it on a slideshow. There's a whole bunch of ways to do this that are very cool. And Laura there on the left, you either just click on the blue title or you click on the read more, and it'll take you to the full post in full. Now, you can see on Laura's one, there's little images, thumbnail images, they're inserted just to the left of the little paragraph for each post. Those are not possible if you don't put images on the post. So if you put images on the post, you're able to choose which image can be a thumbnail. Those thumbnails create excitement, and people will click on them more. And this woman on the right, she did the same thing. It's just opposite. Her thumbnails are on the right of the content. So, but you can see how to avoid a stagnant sales career, how to get prospects to think that's really interesting. These are great topics. These are great topics. And so snippets, too many people put their posts in full, and that becomes very disengaging, so don't do that. Here is an example of a slideshow I have on my homepage. So even if you're not on the blog part of my site, I'm going to make you look at the blog posts I have on my site on my homepage. And this is front and foremost of when you come to my homepage. This is the first thing you see. I don't have a welcome video of my beautiful face. I don't have, a whole bunch of like stock photos of people, making money and all this other ridiculous stuff. I'm trying to get people to the blog. So I have a slider here, and it has the little picture that's on the post as a thumbnail. It's got the keyword-rich title, and it's got a snippet of content, and it's got a read more button. The cool thing is this is a slideshow, so it flips through while you're on the homepage about every 2 seconds, all my posts in a row. So if you sat there long enough, you'd see a little snippet of every post I've ever written, which isn't a whole lot on this particular site. But this little slideshow here is very cool. So it's a slideshow plugin for blog posts. And again, I'll put a link into that on the recording as well, because I want you to have as many plugin resources as possible. So I love that. Now, here's the big thing that's a problem. People don't like writing. Now, I'm a writer, and I actually love writing blog posts. It's refreshing. I'm kind of proud when I do it, and I get done with a good one. I kind of like it. And I kind of thinking, wow, I wonder what someone's going to think when they're reading this really killer post, so I have a good time with it. But some of you I know, and in fact, a lot of you don't like writing or have writer's block or some kind of aversion to it that keeps you from writing. Unfortunately, it keeps you from blogging too, and you're not getting anywhere because your writer's block is taking effect like this. Here's some ideas. Podcasting. People don't want to write. They just want to do a 1-minute video from their webcam about a topic. Hey, this is Tom out here, and I want to talk about social media and how you can use Facebook ads to build your list. Just do something interesting and make a quick little webcam, pop it on YouTube, and do that every day or 2 or 3 times a week, and pop it on your blog and have a vlog, as we call it, a video blog, podcasting. You can use that video double duty. You can put it on your post, so you don't have to write anything, and you can put it on YouTube to help drive traffic to the blog. So you're getting a double whammy out of making these short little videos that people like. Also, you can create surveys and polls. You can use SurveyMonkey or 123 Contact Form or something like that to create a poll or a survey. People love to take those. And you can learn a lot about your target market and kind of data mine what kind of new products and things you should be making. You can also have guest content. Obviously, there's a lot of people out there that would love to write for you if you just were open to the opportunity. So if you don't like writing, get people to pitch in their own stuff, and you just have them write as guest bloggers. You're still getting all the traffic, but you're not having to write as often. Also, video collections, what that is that not only do I do my own videos, I'll find videos on YouTube that I find interesting, and I'll just post them on the blog for that day. And I'll look around YouTube and I'll go, wow, this would really be interesting to my community. Even though I didn't make the video, it doesn't really matter. It's still interesting, and I pop it on there. Also, must-have resources. A lot of people just say, look, the Wall Street Journal had a great article today about selling strategies. I wanted to share it with you. Here's the link to Wall Street Journal. Boom. Or you can link to books, and you can do book reviews, and you can do all sorts of stuff. Blogging is wide open without having to write a whole bunch of stuff. Infographics, like you see over here in the picture on the right, infographic. And infographics are all over the place. You can create them yourself, or you can just get them for free, or you can share them from another blog. And this one here, look at the numbers of tweets. This thing got 3,600 tweets, 2.5 thousand Google Plus shares, 2,000 Facebook shares. These people liked this infographic. It's a little small. I can't tell what the heck's going on, but people love that. Infographics are really easy for your readers to digest, and they love them, and they like to share them, and you didn't have to write anything. Also, reblogging. I like to link or borrow posts that I find interesting from other people. So if Laura Roeder or Jeff Herring had a great post, I can just recreate that, copy and paste that post into my post, and just give them credit or a link over to their site. And it saves me, it's still teaching my community a bunch of stuff, and I'm looking like the good guy because I'm sharing resources that are important, but it's making me not have to write that day. So, I mean, if I did all this stuff, I wouldn't have to write literally for 6 months. So, but I like to write, but I know you don't. So use some of these ideas right there, these 7 big ideas, and become vibrant. And if you mix all these together, your blog just isn't just written content from post to post to post to post to boring post. It's all sorts of videos, infographics, resources. It's really cool, and that's the kind of thing that people find exciting. All right, I'm going to go over some genius blog techniques here, and Joanne says, what are infographics? They're just, let me go right back real quick. It's just a big, I think you've seen them. They're on Facebook all the time, and they're on Pinterest a lot. And just Google infographic, and you'll get 10,000 of them. They're really interesting, big pictures that have a lot of information in the picture. See, this is the growth of social media, and it's got all sorts of statistics and stuff, and people love statistics, and it's just a big image that's been created like in Photoshop or whatever, and they're all around. You can borrow as many as you're totally free to repost, whatever. So there's a giant opportunity there, Joanne, to put in infographics. A few genius blogging techniques. I've been doing this a long time. I've blogged for hundreds of different clients, written tens of thousands of posts over the 8 years I've been doing this. This was the first thing that I did when I first started doing internet marketing, was run a blog, someone else's. And then I ran a whole bunch of other people's, and then there was 1,000 mentees in Tom's program I blogged for. Oh my goodness, I've written more posts maybe than anyone in the world here, and not to my excitement or anything, but I've learned a lot about it, and I found out that publishing posts on the same day every week, preferably every hour, is actually a really good idea in terms of search engines. Also, you want to link to posts from your social media. Obviously, every time you put out a new post, you want to tell the world about it. So don't forget the 1,000 Twitter followers and the 500 friends you have on Facebook and LinkedIn and Pinterest and everybody else, and make sure that you tell everybody about it. Get the traffic that you already have over to the post while you're waiting for the search engines to finally pick these posts up, because now you're doing the keywords right. Okay, good. Also, this little cool tool I found, it's called the Hello Bar, and it's at hellobar.com. And it's totally free, and it's this bar here thing, and it shows up at the top of the browser, and it follows while people scroll down and read the post. It follows or stays stuck up at the top of your web page, and you can make it say whatever you want. And it's a great tool, and it's really awesome. And I've gotten tons and tons of opt-ins from it. So and I wrote this, ever wanted to make $10,000 a second? I'll show you how. Put your email and join the list. And you can write whatever you want in it, and it's totally free. Hello Bar. If you're not using that thing, you're missing a fantastic opportunity for the opt-in box to follow people around the blog. Very cool. Also, you want to use your post to build your community. I can't express that enough. You have to build your community. Your community are the only people that are going to buy anything out there. That's just the way it is. There's no magic formula about putting up a sales letter and getting some kind of traffic to it. Google does no longer links to one-page sales letters. They're making it very difficult for people to make money on the internet. But if you're a good person, you're an expert, you're reaching the hearts and minds of your visitors, and you're building a community of people that really love you, they will buy each and everything that you have. And that's the way that you want to build your business online, is to build the community, and posts are the way to do that. Always try to get people to join the list, try to join things, invite them, talk to them like real people, build a community, and also have fun and blog consistently, or don't do it at all, please. I don't want you, again, to waste your time on this. I want blogging to be fun, but I want it to be effective. And if you just follow these 10 simple steps and correct these 10 big problems that I've seen with every single blog that I've ever visited, except for a few, you will be doing your blogging right. You'll be reaching more people that you've been called to help, and you'll be changing lives, and you'll learn, build a community where you can make real wealth. It's not rocket science. It's just something that needs to follow a precise formula. And formulas are how things work in this world, and especially with internet marketing. So you really want to pay attention to this. Go back and look at your blogs. You don't have to change all the old ones, but just start blogging correctly from here on out, and you'll have more fun with it, I guarantee. Now, before we get to the Q&A, I want to talk about, and I've been talking about this for a couple of weeks, launching my brand new, spanking brand new group coaching model called the Dream Alliance. And what it is, it's a group coaching that takes place on the first, second, and third Tuesdays of every month for about an hour. There are going to be topics specifically focused on making online income. That's called solution-based topics. Each topic is going to be based on making products, building community, strict funnels, the things that I've learned that make real money, plus everyone else I've ever studied, their models on how to take people from a first-time searcher right to the bank. And there's also included in that's a private forum, which is a private Facebook group over there, which is going to turn into a big mastermind group. There's downloadable files. There's free videos. There's already access on the resource page to this, to all my paid this year. And there's checklists, handouts, PDFs, ebooks, all sorts of resources, and success resources, plus access to all the recordings that go on through the entire year. This is an opportunity to build a relationship not just with myself, but with the other members of the group. You and your business are going to be the focus of this Dream Alliance, not me. Why do I call it the Dream Alliance? It's because we want to talk about the things that matter, your dreams, your hopes, your fears about internet marketing, why things are working, why things are not working. And the alliance comes in where you and I build a personal relationship where we talk one-on-one, not like these webinars really where I give a bunch of content and there's a Q&A at the end. This is going to be far more dynamic, and it's going to be audio based. So dig out your microphones and start talking, and we'll be able to practice pitches and ideas, and it'll be a very tight focused, almost like a personal coaching, but everyone's involved. And the first Tuesdays every month will be solution-based training. These are topics designed to make money now or to identify money that you're leaving on the table. You don't want to do that. And people are leaving money on the table in every industry, and we want to work through one by one on how to identify that. There's going to be selling strategies, conversions, sales funnels, how to build campaigns, products, all this stuff, product creation, and building an easy and manageable and effective empire for your business, whatever that is. And it's called brand happiness. And we're going to talk about celebrity building, increasing your visibility, and increasing fees because people see you everywhere. That's on the first Tuesdays. The second Tuesdays each month will be an open Q&A with me, if you can believe that. Informal powwow for a full hour of Q&A with me. Ask me anything. Now, if your guru, whoever you're following lately, can't answer 1,000 questions off the top of their head, then you're following the wrong guy. And as everyone knows, my Q&As of these webinars are fun, and you can rarely stump me. And I've been doing these for years, and some people think that they're the best and most informative part of the webinar, probably because I'm not talking as much. And I decided to take that wrap session and do a full open Q&A. It can talk about the topics that we're talking about that month, or it can be anything in the world. So it helps clarify and implement the training from the week before, or it can be just motivation, help you stay on track. Answers to the questions you've always wanted to ask but you've never had access to. Or and if you don't want to answer or ask questions, you can listen to all the members ask their questions and learn from all of that. Third Tuesdays is what, and this is totally brand new kind of session. It's called the hot seat, laser focused sessions, and they're live. So what I'm going to do with the members on each third Tuesday at 7 Eastern is pick someone out ahead of time that will sit in the hot seat. And that's your chance to put your business in the spotlight. You can practice sales pitches. You can create video scripts, copywriting scripts, get feedback on new ideas before they go public. And I'll give you my instant and valuable insights. And also you'll get them from the other people. So it's a whole community of people pitching in where you're coming away from the hot seat with proven ideas, critiques about how to launch a particular business idea. So you can get your assessments and your homework graded from me personally if you want. It's a safe place to try out anything, presentation scripts, product ideas, funnels, before making them public. It's called the hot seat, and it lights the fire under your business by putting you in the spotlight. The Dream Alliance is about community. It's not about me or some guru talking endlessly about a bunch of stuff that's either outdated or never worked in the first place. It's about people getting together, sharing ideas, and being very candid. Everyone knows that I'm very candid and very open and very honest, and this is a place to get the most honest assessment of your business without getting confused about which direction to go. It's a place where new ideas can take shape, and that's very important because of the valuable input from members taking center stage. You take center stage here. It's about your business. We're just the onlookers, and we're the critiques and the guides and the motivators here, all of us, in this new Dream Alliance group coaching. And I've decided, believe it or not, that making money is what matters most to the people I've been trying to help. It really is. There needs to be a return on investment out here. We need to identify that the products and ideas we have are viable. I don't want to talk about just marketing flavors of the week, Pinterest, for authors and, stuff like this that's relevant one week and completely irrelevant the next. There is a core set of funnel strategies, business ideas for your target market in internet marketing. It's a real business, and that's what we're going to focus on in the Dream Alliance. Now, it's only $75 a month for all 3 weeks, each and every month. You can cancel anytime. Obviously, you can just join it for 1 week or 1 month if you want and check it out. It starts July 8th. So the first topic I'm going to get into on July 8th is identifying and creating your signature product. I'm going to outline exactly what it takes and all the steps that it takes to identify and create a major product system that is easy to implement, completely free to deliver, and converts like crazy, and joint venture people will be all over it. And it'll be the defining product, just like my stealth persuasion was for the last 2.5 years, where I made over $100,000 selling that stealth persuasion. And now I just simply retired it last weekend. That was my signature product, and I'm I'm trying to build another one right now. So it won't be out till maybe fall. But creating a signature product defines your business. It really does. And that's exactly what you need to make money. It's going to be something that is simply yours. And you see a lot of people out there with signature products or big product systems that define their business. And it's the one thing that makes them all the money, not the little products here and there, not the Kindle books, but this major product system. How do you do that? I'll show you exactly how. What I want you to do is I want you to go to expertwebwriting.com/community. expertwebwriting.com/community. If you want to be a part of the Dream Alliance, we're going to have fun. It's going to be dynamic. You're going to get to talk to me directly, just like a personal coaching. This is what's going to take the place of my one-on-one intensive personal coaching for the time being. I'm going to be turning that off, and I'm only going to be offering this. And this is an opportunity to showcase your business, get all your questions answered, learn real-world internet marketing techniques, all in 3 hours a month. So Dream Alliance, $75, expertwebwriting.com/community, starting July 8th. I'd love for you to get out there now and go ahead and get in this thing. It has already all the resources and the videos, and all the paid webinars are up on the site now if you get it, and you can watch all those between the next 2 weeks here, and it starts in 13 days. So we want to make sure that everyone's on board for that. And it's an ongoing thing, so you can join at any time. You can join tonight. I'd love to see you tonight out there. And anyone who joins tonight is going to get the autoresponder, my little black book of email autoresponders. It's a $47 product. I'm going to give that away to you for free, just for joining tonight at expertwebwriting.com/community. And I'd love for us all to be together at the Dream Alliance and really build a community of smart people ready to take this internet thing by storm. I'm a little tired of all the hype and internet marketing stuff. I really want to focus on the stuff that I've learned that makes real money, and they're specific and they're easily learnable, and you can make money like this. And I really want to see you out there. So please come out to the community, and I'd love to see you there, and we can really start working together. Obviously, it is time for the Q&A at this point. So go to expertwebwriting.com/community and join me in the Dream Alliance starting July 8th. I'm going to go ahead and check out some questions here. Lynn's got a lot of them. I have loads of posts already, and you were great. My question is, where else do you put image keywords in the property details? 2 places, Lynn, where you can put keywords in the images. Obviously, it's in the file that you save, so you can get an image from anywhere on the internet. You can buy it or whatever, or get some kind of royalty-free image. Get it, resave it to your desktop, and name it with keywords. So the keywords are in the file then on your desktop before you load it into WordPress. Don't load the original file name, which is probably just a string of numbers or something. And another place you can put it is inside your media library. There's a place called title. Every image has a title. I don't know why they call it that, but this is what they call it. And you can put keywords in there as well. So those are 2 places where you put keywords and image properties that will help people find it on Google Images, or actually images come up in normal searches. So if you put in like cheetah or leadership skills or whatever keyword you're looking for, often about 4 or 5 search engine positioning down, you'll see images. Or if you just go to Google Images, Man, there's a million of them. So I've put in things like advertising training, and I see all sorts of wild images in the Google Images, and if you click on one, it instantly takes you to the website. So you've just instantly driven a visitor right to your website. And it's almost always a blog post because most people don't put a whole lot of images on their website anymore, but they always put one in their blog post or should. And that's one advantage to that. Lynn also says, I was allowing comments and the spam was over the top. I had the anti-spam on, but was always loaded and sometimes even tricky if it was a real post. It depends on the plugin. I use the Akismet. That's Akismet, Akismet plugin, and it works really great. And the only comments that come through are people that are actually logged in to WordPress or have to pre-qualify by logging in or something like that. And it identifies like 500,000 spam words to like Viagra and stuff like this. And, you know, I'll get, trust me, Lynn, I'll get like 3,000 spam comments a month or more. I've had 80,000 at one time because I didn't go back in and check on that. And the Akismet plugin, I think it's only like $5 or $6 or something like that. And it caught all that, and legitimate comments actually did go through. So maybe you just need to tweak your settings a little bit, but don't neglect comments just because of the spam. Every blogger out there has spam, trust me. If Laura Roeder and Jeff Herring can use their blog comments wisely, they're getting spam too. It's just a matter of how they've tweaked it and what plugin they use, and that's the best one I've ever used, and it really works, the Akismet. And Lynn has one last question. I have loads of posts without comments on any. Do you recommend that I go back and implement all your tips? Well, if you don't have comments, you're probably not getting as much traffic as you think. And unless you can measure your traffic and know exactly how much your traffic is getting the post, and of course you do that by uploading the Google Analytics plugin on WordPress, that'll show you which posts are getting what traffic, what keywords that they use to find the post. And yes, Lynn, you want to go back and go through all 10 big problems and solutions and see which ones you're not doing and try to implement those at least from now on. You don't have to go through all the old ones, especially if you have a lot of them, and fix those. Let's do them from now on. Another thing is if you're getting traffic to the post and no one's commenting, tell people to comment. Often, people won't do anything unless you tell them. So at the bottom of the post, you can say, I'm so glad you've read my post about leadership skills. What are some of the leadership skills that have worked for you the best? Go ahead and comment below. Tell people to take action on a post. I either get them to comment or I like to get them just to opt in or whatever. But you have to say something. If you don't say anything, they won't do anything. So often you have to take the initiative and tell them what to do next. Charlene says, is the blog plugin used at the bottom for lead generation compatible with Infusionsoft? Yes. It's actually, you take the opt-in code that any service gives you. It works with all 900 email services. And you take the opt-in code that you would use for an opt-in form, and all you do is paste it into the magic action box, and it'll recreate it right there. I don't know how they do it, but they do it. So I'm not figuring out the magic behind it, but yes, it works with every single email service. I just did it with one shopping cart today for a client, and if one shopping cart, you know, can do it, anybody can do it, because that's usually the most problematic one out of all of them. And Joanne says, which social media are best to focus on that are free? Now that with Facebook, Tom said you have to pay for ads to get people to see your posts. Is Google Plus useful, or Twitter or LinkedIn? It really depends upon your market or the one that you have the most traction or most followers for. Obviously, with social media, you can't really just create a social media campaign out of thin air and expect it to work. Obviously, most of us have some kind of social media that we enjoy and we've already built followers on. I would suggest you work with the one that you enjoy the most, because that will give you the best investment for your time that you're putting in. You know, if you don't like Twitter and it's not really working for you, then don't just post on Twitter just for giggles, you know. If Facebook, if you really enjoy that and you're on it a lot or whatever, then use that. Google Plus, they're all good. They're all really good. And actually the best one to drive traffic to blog posts for simple opt-ins, I think, is Twitter. Because there's not a whole lot going on Twitter anyway, except people just talking about stuff. And a simple link to a new blog post isn't really that dangerous, so they're not really scared of clicking on the link because they already know what it is. That's kind of cool. But as far as Facebook, LinkedIn, I use LinkedIn because my clientele are all business people, and I do a little bit better over there. I like Facebook just because I have more friends over there. So it really is kind of a mixed bag, but you really want to drive people to the posts, but using the social media that you enjoy the most. So there isn't one secret sauce who does better job as far as I'm concerned. Dion says, Colin, probably too primitive question, but I'm so new to WordPress and so Avalanche, I'm wondering where I could go for a fast-track way to learn the basics well enough to do the things you suggest. Wow, if you don't know WordPress really at all, and Tom Antion's got a great WordPress product. It's only $97. You can probably get it on a discount or some kind of sale. It's called How to Create a Website for $20 or less. And he actually got the videos that walk you through it. It can't get any easier than that, and it's so basic, but gets you so far in this process that once you establish your WordPress presence and build it using his program, you can go back to any of my webinars and just look at all the things I talked about, implement them from there. But obviously, if you're a real beginner at WordPress, a lot of the stuff's not going to make a whole lot of sense to you, but you really want to be blogging as much as you can. Tom Antion's Create Websites for $20. It's a great product. I helped make it, so of course it's good. Charlene says, my Facebook page has done almost nothing in a year despite daily and pertinent posts. I'm going to be focusing on LinkedIn, especially now with the blog opportunity. Not everyone has success with social media. Social media is a strange animal, and it either works for you or it doesn't. Charlene, maybe your people just don't really care about your material. And it's not because your material is bad. It's just that Facebook may be more of your friends and more of their friends and more of colleagues that already know that kind of stuff than people who are just running across the post, which is rarely the case. No one sees your posts except maybe the 20 people on your friends list. I can guarantee you the top 20 people on your friends list don't really need to be reading your blog. The people that need to read your blog posts are people you don't know yet. That's why Google search positioning is so important, that you're getting new people in. As far as social media, you get the beauty of LinkedIn is that you can join groups with literally thousands and thousands of members and post your blog posts over there and get a whole brand new slew of people. So Charlene, you want to go to LinkedIn and search for groups. I'm a member of all these public speaking groups and all these small business entrepreneurial groups. And when I have a webinar like this and I post it, I get a lot of people over here. Tonight's webinar, I have to say, was the highest registration webinar I've ever in 4 years. And I'm really, really happy about that. It was almost a complete sellout. I have GoToWebinar, 1,000 people seats, and it was almost a sellout. This is ridiculous. And the blogging is very popular. And I use a lot of social media, but I noticed that LinkedIn and posting in them groups are the ones that work most. I don't think anyone from Facebook. My Facebook friends are just my friends for the most part. They're not that much of business colleagues. And if they are business colleagues, they already know this stuff because they've already been to all my webinars already. So sometimes it doesn't work. So experiment around there and give that a shot. Marcy says, if you use LinkedIn and see that your circles are the same people, why use circles? I think you're talking about Google Plus. I'm not really sure exactly about that question there. Google Plus, if you see that in Google Plus, especially if you're searching people, why use them? I don't really know. That's kind of a weird question. I'm not really sure. You can email me and I'll try to look into that further. Yeah, Google Plus, she says, Google Circles. Absolutely. I don't really use the circles on Google Plus. It was so cool that I could get separate lists and stuff like that. And really, I just wanted everyone, just like on Facebook or LinkedIn, I wanted everyone to see it. So it was just a pain to try to segment all the different circles, and I just quit doing it. Now, I'm not really the one to give you a lot of Google Plus advice because there's a lot of people out there that are a little bit more knowledgeable than me, but I do find it, and I don't break anyone to circles anymore. It's just, I think that was cool when it first came out, but it's a little impractical at the same time, especially like you said, there's a lot of overlap. So I got people in internet marketing and my friends and in my article marketing group and my jewelry business, and some of them are all the same people, and it's just not making sense to me, so I quit messing with it, really. And Charlene says, Google Plus, it's most important to reach out to others in your area. Okay, that's good. And there's local areas and there's areas of interest. And I like Google Plus because it's just that there's a lot of my kind of people on it. I think it was attractive to the internet marketing crowd right at first because we were all kind of tired of Twitter and Facebook, and we were really hoping for some kind of new thing. And people like Jeff Herring and Laura and Tom and everybody, we all got on Google Plus very early, back when it was only invitation only, and you had to wait to be invited, and it was like, oh, this is so cool. And we've been using it ever since, and we're all on there. But most of my friends, like on Facebook, aren't on there. I don't see like my personal friends, and I don't see a lot of my target market that isn't business people. So I use it, but it's not my favorite. I believe my favorite is LinkedIn and LinkedIn groups. That is where my market is. Yours may be different, so that's something you're just going to have to mess with. I hope to see you guys over July 8th at expertwebwriting.com/community at the Dream Alliance group coaching. It's going to be the most relevant and the most intensive coaching I've ever done yet. This is my big idea, and I love it, and I can't wait to get it started. I'm chomping at the bit. I don't feel like waiting until July 8th. I wish it was going on tomorrow night. I can't wait to get started. Of course, it's not going to be as an effective community if I don't get everyone on it. This is the first night. Tonight was the first time I've ever promoted it anywhere. I haven't sent it to the list. I haven't told anyone about it. I haven't posted it on Facebook. Nothing. Right out of the blue, tonight's the first night. So if everyone wants to get in on that, as many people as possible, it'll really kickstart the community, and we can start going as the way it's supposed to be designed. And we're really going to have a great time. I'm going to have guest experts and talk about, it's going to be the best thing I've ever done so far in my internet marketing career. And I'm very excited about the community aspect, the engagement that we're going to have, the level of engagement that we're going to be able to use on this. I'm going to take GoToWebinar to the highest levels of I've never pushed it this far before, with everyone getting on with their microphones and things like this. It's going to be awesome. And we got the private community going on. I'm going to design mastermind groups. This thing has a life of its own that'll go on beyond anything that I do, where the members themselves will actually make friends and create products and work together. It's a place to have joint ventures. It'll be the preeminent place to meeting of the minds here after the community grows to a certain level. In that respect, I'd love to have you out there tonight. Also, whoever wants to join tonight, I'm watching the shopping cart and seeing that people are coming in. Whoever signs up tonight will get the little black book of autoresponders, email autoresponders training program, $47 product. So let's see what else I have. Charlene says, loved all your other work, so this will be magnificent for sure. Thank you. I appreciate that. I think it's going to be great, and I'm looking forward to really doing this. I'm doing some other group coaching. I have a whole new business called Resonate with a partner, Michelle, up in Boston, and we're putting together a really intensive group coaching and a coaching program. It's going to be very specific to just public speakers and authors at the moment, and we're deciding on what exact niche to actually create a workshop around. So it's going to be very specific. Plus, I'm still working with Tom to try to get his group coaching, or he's got his teaching class. I'm going to be teaching internet marketing for beginners, straight up from buying domain names all the way up. And other than that, as soon as Tom gets off his rear end and actually gets that going for me, because it's all ready to go. And I'm teaching live workshops here in Virginia Beach, believe it or not. So I'm going to be teaching internet marketing to my friends and colleagues right here in my hometown, which is exciting. Never done that. I make all my money sitting on the couch. I rarely go outside, and when I do, I'm blinded. and I can't see very well, but I'm getting out there and shaking hands and doing the stuff that I'm not really that great at, so I really think that's going to be fun. Joanne says, thanks, Colin, for a great webinar tonight. You're such an amazing expert on this stuff. Thank you, Joanne. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad with all the questions that you had. I'm really happy that this was such a huge turnout, and then everyone was here and asking great questions. If you got any more questions, pop them in. I'm not going anywhere. I mean, it's getting kind of late. I've had so much fun tonight. I wasn't even looking at the clock. I'm sorry. It's almost 8:30. But anyway, I'm really glad you were here and spent the time. The time's really gotten away from me. Eileen says, I'm a professional speaker and author, and should I wait till then? Now, actually, you can join my group coaching tonight or anytime here, Eileen. But we can talk to you personally, Michelle and I, about our more high-level coaching intensive program we got going on. Our group coaching isn't really, that may just be specific to a certain niche. We haven't even decided what it's going to be yet, but I like this group coaching model. If you were not part of my group coaching paid webinar, where I had a webinar for the it was last month, and there was a lot of people on it, but not my entire community seen it, so really no one's seen it. And it was $20 to watch the webinar, but it was called Create a Group Coaching Success Formula, Earn $132,000 a year working 5 hours a week. And I have the numbers and the formulas and everything about making a fortune with group coaching. This is where I'm implementing exactly what I said that we should all do into my life, and it's been life-changing. And if you join the Dream Alliance tonight at expertwebwriting.com/community, you'll also get the resource page that has that group coaching webinar in it. So you'll actually get to see how to create your own group coaching models by joining the group coaching tonight. So that's really cool. Charlene says, on a website, do you do podcast, video, and blogging, or do you suggest separating them under different menus? Now, well, you can have a podcast, which is strictly video-based blogging, and that's strictly for people to subscribe to and actually have a download of the MP3 of the podcast. Podcasts are MP3 based, Charlene, and they're made for people to be able to subscribe and download so they can listen to it at the gym or whatnot, and you can upload MP3s to different podcasting sites out there to help drive traffic to the blog. What I was talking about tonight about podcasting was actually just doing an MP3 recording or just a video recording and putting it in the general population of your posts just to break up things a little bit. If you want to do a strict podcast, people like those, but if you're going to commit to a podcast, it does need to be its own separate area, and it needs to be nothing but that and not really a part of your blog. Of course, you can throw some of those in as posts, but podcasting is its own animal to a certain degree. Not everyone's into it. It does work pretty cool. I don't do it, but I have clients that do, just because I know that their target market are receptive to it. So if your target market is not receptive to downloading MP3s on a regular basis, then don't bother with that. If you think that they are, it can be very educational. It just depends on the market. But podcast can be its own navigation part of your site, separate part of your site, but you can throw in videos, all that stuff into the general population just to break things up. Karen says, great information. Thanks for the webinar. I signed up. Thank you. Oh, my God, Karen's going to be at the Dream Alliance. I can't wait. See, now I can die easy. You know, as long as Karen's out there, I don't have to worry about a thing. It's going to be great. I'm freaking excited about this thing. I've never been so excited about a product or a coaching program in my entire life. Whew. Anyway, it's getting late. You guys get your questions in here. And if you have any questions about blogging tonight, well, a lot of good questions tonight on blogging. If you have any questions about the Dream Alliance, get them in. If you don't have your questions right now or have them read out loud, just email me over at videopower@live.com. I'm going to write that in the chat box. Videopower@live.com. I appreciate everyone being the most highly registered webinar of my entire internet marketing career. I don't even know what to say. Bring tears to my eyes. I really actually love that. Lynn says, thank you again. You've been a calming teacher voice and tone. Thank you. And I was able to grasp instead of run to do. Thank you so much for the answers. And I really appreciate you being out here. Lynn, thank you so much for all of your questions too, and your time you spent. You can see my girl Vicky Victoria there in the beautiful picture there of my sweet baby. She's not here tonight. Makes it feel kind of weird, which is probably why I'm gone over time, because she's usually hitting me with a newspaper going, end it, end it. TV shows are coming on. And it's a good thing I don't do any of these webinars on Monday with football coming up and everything. I'd really have to get them done by 8:30. Marcy says, for links, what should you use instead of click here? Thanks for your great info. Anchor text with keywords. Things that say, learn new leadership skills or something. That whole phrase should be a clickable link. Something that they know what they're going to get. And also Google can see the keywords. So, Marcy, if you weren't here for big problem number whatever, that was the clickable links, most people do put read more or click here or something, or, something very simple. But if you use keywords in the clickable link, then Google can see those. Those stand out to the search engines, and that is SEO trick number 3. First one was titles, having keyword-rich titles. Number 2 was hiding keywords in your images, and number 3 was having keywords in your clickable links. It also gives an idea of what they're clicking out to. So it's a psychological call to action to put keyword phrase that's suggestive, actionable tips that you can use right now. That whole phrase should be clickable. Just run your highlighter over it in WordPress, highlight the whole sentence, go up, click the little anchor thing, put in the URL you want them to go to, and voila, you're done. Yes, it sounds a little weird, but it's beautiful, and it's exactly what you want, and the click-throughs will be much higher because they're engaging. So good question on that. And I love doing the anchor text as well. I like looking through, I like being creative with it and trying to think of something really cool to make a clickable link. And if you go to my blog over at colinmartinconsulting.com, you'll see I like to highlight. And all my clicks, you know what, I'm going to be honest with you, I believe that posts and the website and everything that you do should be about list building. That I don't do anything else. I don't send them the products. I don't send them to other posts. I don't do anything of the sort. I send everyone to a dedicated opt-in page where there's nothing there but a cool giant photo and a big opt-in box in the middle, and that is it. And all my posts go to those kinds of dedicated opt-ins. If you've ever seen my webinar about perfect driving and opt-in techniques, I show you that I drive all my traffic, all my social networking, everything to opt-ins. I really believe the website and blog should be about building a list and community, because that's where the money is. If you want to send them other places, that's fine. But my philosophy is, and you can take it or leave it, I always link to opt-in or a dedicated opt-in. I want those people to be in my list forever. I never want them to go anywhere else, or I don't want them to leave without joining the community. That's what it's all about. And that's exactly what everyone should be concentrating on in their clickable links. All right, it's 8:34. It's getting tiring here, and I'm going to take a drink of water, get your last questions in. And please join me over at expertwebwriting.com/community for the Dream Alliance group coaching, the most finest, highly engaging coaching program ever known to man. I love that. Joanne says, Colin, she's just wondering, why are you retiring Stealth Persuasion if it's so successful? It's going out on a high note, Joanne, just like Seinfeld ending at a #1 syndication. It's been so long I've been doing it, and I just want to move on. I want to go out on top. I want to make it like a legend. I just don't want it to be a dying product that I have to discount for 50 or 60%. I sold it last weekend up to a Sunday night deadline at full price. And for everyone that's ever been on the fence about buying it over the last couple of years, and yes, I've sold. It's a $100 product, $97. I sold 1,000 copies over the last 24 months. And compared to, making money like on a big career or something, that's not a whole lot of money, but here's the whole thing. It defined who I was, and it made me the copywriting expert. And what that did was everyone who ever bought one of those got a critique. And if you notice, I offered a critique of the website. Well, I told them, and I would rewrite them and critique their copy. And about 20% of the time, that led to either writing all the copy for the website for more money or them turning into a personal coaching client. So it was a gateway product, even though it was a huge product system and defined my entire career here. It acted as a gateway to my coaching. Now, when we talk about signature products, on July 8th in the Dream Alliance, that's one of the strategies I'm going to cover. How your product system, no matter how successful it is actually just a gateway to extremely high coaching, being able to identify the people that buy a product as the ones that will invest $1,000 and $3,000 and $5,000 in personal coaching over time. And how do you do that? There's a funnel to that. The sale isn't over when they download the product and your $100 or $200 product sale is in the bank. That is just the beginning. That is the beauty of it. And I built these beautiful relationships with these people where we sat down and talked about community and helping and changing the world and crying and all this other stuff. And these people have put their life and soul and money into these websites. And self-persuasion was just the door that opened to their success and changed the way they saw everything that they write. Yeah, I wanted to go out on a high note. So I really don't know. I just don't have time with what I've got going on to really sell it. I just wanted to put it to rest while it was still one of the best products out there. And I appreciate everyone who's ever bought it, which is just about everybody on this list. So Joanne says, I purchased Self-Persuasion when it first came out. I remember that. And I love that. Will the replay still be available for us who purchased it? Yes. Yeah, you can always go to that download page. Will stay up forever. And there's people I promised copy critiques to that haven't sent in their stuff yet. And I'm going to honor that all the way through the end of the year. So there's like 6 more months for people to get in on their copy critiques that I promised. I'm just not going to sell it to anybody else brand new. Now, there may be a few gurus out there that will promote it to their list, but I'm not sure if I'm even going to do that. I was tossing that idea around. But as far as my people, my friends, my community, all my Facebook people, all the people in my list, it's going to be basically unavailable because I really want to move them over to a more dynamic situation where we can talk one-on-one and ask questions and build a lifelong friendship and community such as Dream Alliance. And that's, I'm so excited about that. This is where I'd love to have everyone, all the friends that I've made to be over there so we can all be together and we can learn from each other and study from each other and become successful with each other. And I'm really excited about I'm really looking forward to that. And it's just so intimate, compared to a product. That's just something I'm really excited to do. So thanks, Joanne, for being a part of that all those years. I do remember. It's been a long time, and I appreciate that. And she says it was a fantastic product, and I recommended it to everyone. I guess you did. You probably were 30 or 40 of that 1,000 were probably people you recommended because you're so influential. And Charlene says, I bought it too. Glad to know I can still get access. Yeah, everybody can get access to the videos forever. And that's just the way it's going to be. So that'll never shut down. I just wanted to stop the opportunity of, getting a bunch of new people on board and really concentrate on a whole other model here. This Dream Alliance not only is something that I am excited about, it's a formula that I believe in and that I'm going to use to teach other people from here on out. I want to be the group coaching formula, success formula teacher out here for therapists, for coaches, for consultants, for salespeople, all these people that have a whole bunch of people in town or online that they work with, and try to get them into a more community coaching idea here with all the upsells and all the formulas and it's more money for a lot less time and being able to reach out to more people than you ever had before. And there's people out there that need your help and they can't afford you as a coach. And this is an opportunity for them to have access to you for a lower price and for you to reach more people that you were called to help. And that's the whole idea of 2014 for me. It's about reaching out and becoming to reaching out to the people that really need your help and making a difference and really changing the world instead of being on such a ivory tower that no one can ever work with you. And there's people out there that need your help. Not just in internet marketing, but anything that we do. There's hypnotherapists and chiropractors and life coaches and consultants and sales strategists and everyone that has clients that benefit from your knowledge. And your own group coaching program is exactly how to do that. And this is mine. This is my flagship idea, and I'm really happy with it. Now, I'm going to get off that large soapbox because I know people are dying out here, but I got to get going. And so if you have any questions, you can't get them in tonight, videopower@life.com. Answer all the questions. I'll always answer all my emails like I always do. I'm going to go ahead and get going here because I'm getting kind of thirsty. These new dentures are still trying to get used to these things. I hope I'm sounding decent. And look for the recording tomorrow. It'll have a download of the slides, so you'll have an instant step-by-step 10-step template to fix all your posts. You don't have to fix them. You just have to do them right from now on. Let's use blogging to make a lot of money and build that community, and let's have fun with it. And share with me your blog posts. I want to see everyone here tonight. Send me links to your posts, and I may even just pop them in on the recording if I get them in time so that everyone can see, and then that way we can share the traffic here and see how we're doing. And like, again, if you want me to take a look at your blog posts, I can critique them, that's fine, but I've outlined, I've pretty much outlined all the things that the most successful bloggers do, and I will have links to all the blogs that I used as examples. So I'm going to go ahead and get going tonight, and you guys have a great night. Again, thank you for your time. It means that you're serious about your business and doing it right, and I really appreciate that because that's the kind of people I want to work with. So join me over at expertwebwriting.com at the Dream Alliance /community over at Dream Alliance, and we'll start an entirely new relationship of dynamic internet marketing success. And I will see you on the next webinar next week. So y'all have a great night, and tuck in your little ones and give your spouse a kiss and tell them you love them, and let's get moving and making money. All right, good night.